Welcome to Mr. Garofalo's podcast for special binomial products. Today in class we looked at something called squaring a binomial, and what I'm going to do in this podcast is show you the general form that would result if we take a binomial and we square it or multiply it by itself. You're also going to see this in class tomorrow. This is sort of the shortcut that I was getting at in that little group activity we did today. We're going to generalize it in class tomorrow. But here it goes, a preview of what's going to happen. We see that here we have a binomial, a general form. I'm just going to call the terms A and B so we can generalize it. As we saw in class, most of us realize that since we're squaring, that we're going to need to square the first term. We're going to need to square the second term. However, the key piece here is the middle term. The middle term is going to result from the product of these two, A times B, which is AB, but then we're going to have to double it. And the reason we would have to double it is if we took this and did this the long way and used the double distribute method from yesterday, there would be our A squared. There's an A times B, an AB, but here comes the second one. It's actually BA, but I'm going to write it as AB. And here comes our B squared. And so we see, here's our B squared, here's our A squared. That's the first term and the last term. But in the middle here, we've got A plus B, or AB plus AB, excuse me. And that's going to get us 2AB. So what we really need to do is square the first term, square the second term, multiply the two terms together, and double it. So let me do another problem using this. And this is called the general form here. The general form for squaring a binomial is A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. So let's say I had a problem such as x plus 11 squared. And the first thing I need to do is say, all right, well, the A in this problem, okay, if I'm looking here, the A is actually an x, so I need to square it. So it would be x squared. The B in this problem is actually a positive 11. So again, if I'm going to square that. So that gives me my first term and my last term. And my middle term is going to come from the product of A times B, so the product of 11 times x, and doubled. Because I'm going to end up with two 11x's when I go to combine like terms. That would give me 22x. 11 times x times 2. So my product is x squared plus 22x plus 121. Okay? The same thing works for squaring a binomial that's a difference. The only change that will occur is that this sign right here will end up becoming negative since you're going to have two negative terms in the middle. Okay. Hopefully, if you can use this on your homework, if this is confusing at all in any way, we're going to clear this all up tomorrow. We're going to recap what we did at the end of class yesterday. So come in with your questions ready to go. See you then.